There is a moment many people know well. You are standing in a crowded room, perhaps at a party or a busy office gathering, and something inside you starts to feel compressed. The conversations layer over each other, the music pulses beneath it all, and even though nothing is technically wrong, you feel an almost physical pull toward the door. Not because you dislike anyone there. Not because you hate people or lack warmth. But because something in you is quietly signaling that it needs space, air, stillness. Maybe it started earlier, the group chat pinging relentlessly, the crowded bus where strangers pressed too close, the roommates talking loudly when you needed rest. By now your capacity feels thin. And here is what most people do not understand about this pull toward silence. It is not what they assume. There is a common misconception that people who seek quiet spaces are somehow running from life, that they are shy in a way that needs fixing or distant in a way that suggests coldness. But for many, the opposite is closer to the truth. The craving for silence often comes not from disinterest in the world, but from paying too much attention to it. It comes from a mind that absorbs everything, processes deeply, and simply needs time to clear the queue. Think of it as energy management. Every person walks through the day with a certain amount of capacity for processing input, navigating social dynamics, and filtering noise. For some people, that capacity runs deeper but also drains faster. They are not fragile. Recognizing this changes everything. It transforms the narrative from "something is wrong with me" to "I understand how I work." Consider what actually happens in a busy environment. There is the obvious layer: voices, movement, music, notifications. But beneath that, there is something more demanding: the constant, often unconscious work of monitoring social cues. In any group setting, your mind tracks facial expressions, reads tone, anticipates reactions, calculates when to speak and when to listen, assesses whether people are comfortable, whether you said the right thing. This is simply social awareness operating at full capacity. And it costs energy that does not show up on any visible meter. Some people can let most of this background noise blur into a comfortable hum. Others experience it in sharper detail. Neither approach is superior. They are simply different ways of moving through the world. When someone who processes deeply spends hours in a stimulating environment, they are not just tired from talking. They are tired from tracking, from monitoring, from the invisible labor of being attuned. This explains something that often confuses others: why someone can seem drained after a party but come alive during a 3-hour conversation with one close friend. These are entirely different experiences. The party requires broad, scattered attention, monitoring multiple people, navigating unpredictable topics, managing impressions across a room. The deep conversation is focused, coherent, and safe. There is no performance, no scanning for uncertainty, no splitting of attention. One depletes. The other often restores. This is why silence can sometimes make you more social, not less. Quiet spaces serve a specific function for minds that work this way. When external noise falls away, something important happens internally. Mental clutter begins to settle. Thoughts that were fragmented start to reconnect. Emotions that were compressed beneath layers of stimulation finally have room to breathe. This is not avoidance of life. It is maintenance that allows for fuller engagement with life. What emerges from this restoration often surprises people who have never needed it the same way. Creativity tends to surface in quieter moments, when the mind is no longer saturated with input. Decisions become clearer when made from stillness. Emotional steadiness improves because there is time to process feelings rather than simply react. Focus deepens. For many people, these are the foundations that make everything else work. Yet others often misread this need. They see someone leaving early or declining an invitation and interpret it as rejection. This is rarely accurate. When someone says, "Thanks, I need a quiet recharge tonight," they are taking care of themselves so they can show up better next time. When someone says, "Love catching up, but I'll head out early," they are managing their energy honestly. When someone offers, "Appreciate the invite, rain check for a calmer time," they are being realistic about what they can genuinely offer. What helps here is a gentle reframe. People who thrive in constant stimulation simply have a different threshold. And people who need more quiet are not doing anything wrong either. The friction comes from assuming everyone works the same way. Understanding this removes judgment from both sides. There is a distinction worth considering. There is a difference between seeking quiet as healthy autonomy and seeking it primarily as escape. In the healthy version, quiet serves as a reset. You withdraw, restore, and re-engage. Your world continues to expand. Relationships stay connected. The quiet is a tool you use, not a wall you build. In the other version, quiet becomes a hiding place, less about restoration and more about avoiding anything that triggers worry or pressure. In this pattern, life tends to shrink. Social connections fade. The quiet stops serving you and starts limiting you. This is not a judgment, simply something to notice with curiosity. If your solitude leads to more engagement over time, it is likely serving you well. If your world is getting smaller, that might be worth exploring. What actually helps is not dramatic change, but small practical adjustments. Micro breaks throughout the day make a difference. Stepping away for a few minutes before mental load becomes overwhelming. A brief walk, a quieter room, or simply closing your eyes and breathing. Setting gentle boundaries around your energy is sustainable. You might decide one social event per weekend is your limit, or that you need an hour of solitude after work before being present with others. Choosing environments intentionally matters. Meeting a friend at a quiet cafe instead of a crowded bar, walking together instead of sitting in a noisy restaurant. Small choices that protect your energy without sacrificing connection. Tools like headphones or earplugs are volume controls for a world not designed with every nervous system in mind. Managing notification hygiene can transform your days. Setting your phone to silent during focused hours or checking messages at scheduled windows prevents digital interruption from fragmenting your attention. Building decompression rituals, a specific way you transition from stimulation back to baseline, can be effective. Calming music on the way home, sitting quietly for 10 minutes, or a shower to wash off the sensory residue. Planning exits in advance removes pressure. Knowing how you will gracefully leave makes experiences more manageable. Communicating your needs honestly, without excessive apology, protects both your energy and relationships. Most reasonable people understand a simple statement of your limits. What remains most important? Seeking quiet is not an identity to be locked into. It is a tool to use wisely. You are not defined by your need for solitude. You are a full person who functions best with regular access to stillness. This does not make you less capable of connection or less valuable. This is educational, and people's needs vary. Preferring quiet does not automatically mean something is wrong with you. The room will still be there when you are ready. The people who matter will understand. And the quiet that calls to you is not retreat from living. It is preparation for living more fully, more like yourself. That is worth honoring without apology.